When you begin your art journey, there is a nice package sitting there waiting for you. It contains anatomy, perspective, form and shape hierarchy, the principle of light and shadow, color theory and composition. These are altogether the foundation of art, solid rules and general guidelines to follow or break. 6 topics that helps you the most when you're looking for improvement, non-regard where are you at in your art journey. Pro or a beginner, doesn't matter. What do you mean where is art style? No, it's not missing, it never meant to be part of the deal.
Art style is not one of the 6 principles. It's not universal, it cannot be learned through a one-fit-all lesson like the rest. Your style is your subjective take on those. So let's rephrase the question, how can one develop their art style if it's a different journey for all of us? Hi, my name is NAKA and I might have tricked 70 people to draw me cubes. A bit more on that soon, because I want to thank you first. 10,000 of you decided to follow wherever this channel goes, and hundreds of you left a lot of encouraging comments on my first video. I was absolutely overloaded with joy to a point when I even had a hard time sleeping. So, long story short, thank you so much.
Back to the video.
How can one develop their art style if it's a different journey for all of us? Simply put, instead of studying the result, we take a look at the process. You can memorize the multiplication table, but at the end of the day, understanding the core concept is the best method. So in order to do that, let's grab a cube. What would you draw if I asked you to draw this in your way? No restriction, you can draw whatever you want as long as it fits to be a cube. And this is what I exactly taught to 70 artists, and oh boy, they cooked. Your art style is not just about painting or drawing, curves and straight, pastel or vivid colors. Your art style is the imprint of how you think. Something decided way before you even lift a pencil. The result changed based on your interests, memories, habits, preferences, methods you are comfortable with. Your art style is made by your comfort zone. And at this point you probably see how ridiculously different we all are. Environment artists, creature and character designers, people into prop design, some like it simple, some prefers overly complicated. All of their paths are decided based on the topic they prefer. Influence of a famous artist or media they like might be another hobby. Things that they find appealing gravitates them towards a certain direction. So art style can be called a visual imprint that works as a signature for the artist who made the piece. But simply put, art style is just the result of who we are. Now that we have a theoretical idea of what art style is, let's put it in daily practice. Since I don't know your personal taste, the best thing that I can come up with is explaining where mine comes from. By looking at the 6 principles, shape design stood out for me the most. I have the most experience fiddling with it, therefore it's my absolute comfort zone. I prefer cartoons, comics and manga, so simplification, shape hierarchy and all the rest is something that I don't even need to think about much. It almost reflects at this point. A huge chunk of my visual library revolves around this topic. On the other side, anatomy and perspective are my weaknesses. By practicing simple things, I had lower attention on these 2 topics, which rely on realism and precision, so I learned them as much as necessary and swept the rest under the rug. Composition is somewhat of a cousin to shapes, so what I learned with shapes I can apply for composition too. Color and light were something that I also struggled with, so I adjusted my drawing habits to have my time fiddling with them in a risk-free, non-destructive environment thanks to layer modes and adjustment layers. Another important thing in my life is the fact that I don't like to paint. Messing around on a canvas, slowly bringing in details through even days, is something that is too chaotic for me. Drawing is built on a few simple steps that works as a clear milestone in the process. Sketch, line, color, shadow and done. That's it. Usually it easily takes less than a day and the phases don't blend together. This type of thinking is something that I always had, so it was a natural choice for me to draw instead of paint. Moving on, the next thing that influenced my art style is the tool that I use. Photoshop is probably not the best software for drawing and painting, but some of its features are something that I can't live without. Specific layer modes with reduced fill doesn't exist in other softwares, just like the blend if mode. Both of those compensate for my lack of knowledge on color and light. The control that I can have over specific layers is insane, and making scripts is easy and very convenient, reducing tedious repetitive steps that I don't enjoy. The next thing that influences my style is the one brush I use. On small scale, it's a Sharpie that is good for lines. On a large scale, it's a big Sharpie that is good for quickly blocking out shapes. There is zero opacity, gradient or color jitter, so it's a one stroke and done solution on the pro side, but also useless for rendering a painting. Glad that I don't like doing that anyway. So if we add up my relationship with the principles with the tools that I use, we can find the technical details about my art style. But what's up with the human part? Yeah, that's important too. Outside of being an artist, I'm just an average dude living his daily life, and that dude also affects my art. I love to make overly detailed plans because I really enjoy seeing things unfold as intended. That also means, like a true engineer, I overcomplicate things, then need to improvise halfway through. But at least I have a reference where I should be, so I'm not getting lost during drawing. This type of thinking lets me optimize my work process as an artist as the plan improves piece by piece, streamlining my workflow and reducing the time wasted on things that I don't like that much. On the other hand, I like taking my time, wandering with shower thoughts, observing insignificant things. That side of me helps to build my visual library. A weird doorknob might be useful for Mac design. And this behavior synergizes pretty well with optimization when things come to references. I don't really use them simply because I don't like obstructing my workflow with stopping and looking at a picture. Of course, that doesn't mean that I don't use references, but if I need them, I open 10, take a good look at them, then close all the tabs and work with what I remember. It don't mess with the workflow and also helps to memorize new things for my visual library. And that's all about me. Let's translate all of this to your work. The things that you are interested in life are the subject that can make your comfort zone. The place where you draw, the tools that you use shapes your workflow. Principles that you prefer over the others might judge the type of art you do. All of this together brings up what you draw or paint and how you approach it. If you're still not sure about your own way, here is a few examples where some might resonate with you. Like Ringaroona, definitely a painter and environmental artist. Solid at perspective, color and lighting. Her design is a perfect example of an artist who is marching towards the AAA industry. Gust, on the other hand, is really strong with expressions and gesture, simplification with anatomy used to create personality on a still image. TGL is all about hard surface design, a branch that is unforgiving on shapes and perspective, yet his passion towards the topic made him an expert. Leading us to art styles influenced by the way of thinking. Cloudy and Double are great examples with their similar approach and their love to stretch as far the blanket goes. Look at it closely, they did not draw a single cube. Unlike Andre, he came in at the last second, replacing someone who changed their mind, making sure that I understand that he will do exactly what I asked for, drawing a cube. I just fucking love this dude. Elodin's art is all about personality, a goofy artist with goofy designs. Someone who loves to have fun and wants to share the joy with you. And the same appreciation towards having fun reappear in the same group. From Shaumilu, T-Ted, Jap Cosby, Canaplants, and even from Shucks, but in a slightly different way. And last but not least, there are artists who like multiple topics and have figured out how to combine them. Pepe, for example, is good at rendering, composition, anatomy and shapes, and have a rent-free place for graffiti and hip-hop on each of his art pieces. Then when things come to doodling, Ophelia found a way to use this normally standalone art direction to decorate more complex pieces. If you wonder, the official term for it is called noodling. I could go for hours drawing examples, but you probably get the point. Pause the video and use the comma and period keys on your keyboard to move frame by frame. Free YouTube hack, yay! If you find an artist that you like, scroll down to the description or to the comments, I put all of their socials there. Now that we know what is art style, found yours, it's time to ask the last question: how to improve your art style. As I said, you already have one, but you might not like it yet. That's absolutely okay. Art style is something that comes from us, therefore can change with us. Here's a few things to try. Study things that you enjoy. If you are interested in something, learn about it. There are a bunch of video essays and tutorials about almost everything. Grab a pen and some snacks and enjoy your passion while making a few notes. Study people or studios that you are looking up to. You probably already have a few artists or studios in mind with interesting art styles. Look them up, they might have a tutorial on YouTube or maybe someone else who explained their style to you. If not, there is still a chance that they might teach you one-on-one, but normally you need to open a wallet for that. By studying other artists, you probably never end up being the same, but it's pretty much likely that you will find a few interesting steps in the process that is a no-brainer to use on your work. Study what's necessary. I know this is a sour one. If you keep struggling with a topic, like anatomy for example, learn that fucker to the point you don't need to worry about it again for a while. Some people tackle this problem by drawing their weaknesses 100 times, and practice definitely brings you confidence once you finished your grind. I'm personally not a huge fan of this method, even though it works, so my slower process is just drawing things revolving around the topic that I'm bad at. So I need to look it up and use some references until I feel confident about it. It's much slower, but I enjoy the process more. Small hints here: if you are struggling with multiple things, pick one. Learning one by one is much more effective than bouncing between topics, trust me. Learn your tools. Pencil, watercolor, oil paint or drawing software, learn how it works. What are the functions, where are the limits? There is a chance that you are doing something quote-unquote poorly because you are not aware of a function of the tool that you are using.
Tihomir, jel ti se sviđa mašina? Jel znaš ti s tim raditi? Ajde da mi pokaži. Bravo. Bravo.
We all might do something similar. Look around, tunnel vision is not your friend. Do you remember the art teacher who doesn't let their students drawing in manga style? This is not art. You learn nothing by copying those dumb cartoons. You get nowhere by only doing that. Intentionally or not, they are trying to encourage you to try out different stuff. Even if you end up with the same direction that you started with, extra knowledge from the old books can be an interesting twist on your path. And the same goes for working with a studio. You will probably need to adjust to others. Character sheets in animation industry are not suggestions but your Bible. No matter what you like or what you are good at, you will need to follow the rules for the sake of consistency throughout the production. It might go against your pride, but I can grant you that there is useful stuff to learn. Fail. This is not specific to our style but more of a general advice. Every learning process includes failure. The harder you try to get around it, the heavier it hits. More you embrace it, the more streamlined it gets. Even if you end up making the worst piece of your life, keep it. It will be an outstanding personal reference of your flaws. It's not like you getting damaged or became a lesser person because that piece exists. Hell, you can even use it as a quote-unquote before photo. This is where I came from and this is where I am. And I'm here because I was there. I hope you found this one useful. Don't forget to seek out for these awesome artists, quick reminder, comma and period after you post the video, then social links in the description or comments. And a huge thanks to these awesome people who helps me make these videos. Seriously, this channel would not exist without you. And last but not least, thank you for watching.